Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate how to create a raster pattern. And so we'll start by placing a point, and then we'll place another point below and to the right. And now what I'll do is I'll go over to the pattern type control button, and I'll push that, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and select the raster scan. Now you'll see that it makes a Z, and that's not exactly what we want from a raster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the number of lines to 10, and you can see that it has this Z in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the pattern direction, and I'm going to right click for snake option, and I'm going to go ahead and check that. And now you see that it looks like a normal raster pattern. So if I right click here now, I'll see that this option for the point pattern use snake path is checked. So now I have 10 lines, and what I'm going to do, it's a 10 line raster scan, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the total horizontal 1 millimeter. Okay, and then I think I'm going to make the spacing between each line about 0.15. And so that looks a little more reasonable. I think we could even tighten that up a little bit to 0.1. There, that looks a little bit better. And now you can navigate around this the same way that you would navigate around the grid. So what I'm going to do is move to location 2. So now we're centered on location 2. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the grid numbering. So now we can see that we go from 1, 2 to 3, and then back to 4, and then back to 5, and then 6 would be out here, 7, 8, and so on. So let's see if we can get the whole thing in there. Yeah, so we can see 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. And once again, you can adjust the parameters, these dimensions manually in here, and then you can look at your experimental settings. And for raster scans, usually we'll accumulate this data, and so what we'll get is one Libs spectrum that consists of, with these settings, 547 shots with the accumulate option selected. Without accumulation, what we would get is 547 individual spectra in the same file. So I'll select accumulate, and also it's important to note that when we change the stage settings, so if I change this speed to 0.1, it doubles the number of shots roughly. Also, if you change the repetition rate of the laser, it's going to lower the number of shots. So I'm going to go back to 10, and now I'm going to go back to 0. Actually, I like 0.1, so we get 1,000 shots for this raster, and I'm going to go ahead and save these experiment settings. And this is a 10-line raster. Okay. And one other thing that I'd like to point out is I can change the directionality. So if I change the directionality, now I have the same, or I have roughly the same spacing now in the horizontal orientation. I'm going to get rid of these ones. I'm just going to make it straight up 0.1. So I'll delete those and hit enter, and I'll make the total vertical 1. So now this is the same raster, only it's oriented in the vertical orientation. And what I can do now is I'm just going to go up here, and I'm going to right click and save experiment as, and I'm going to change this to 10-line raster vertical. Okay, and that's how to create a raster pattern.